Okay, good evening, guys. How are you doing today? Okay, I need to put it to everyone. Okay, good evening, our online friends. Hi, Shiva, Devi, Ansari, hi, Akshay. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone are doing good. All is well? Nice. Yeah, Vishal, good. Thanks for asking. I'm good. I'm doing good. All right. So thanks for taking time to join the session. And I should really appreciate all you guys coming all the way. Nice. That is DevOps, Mahesh. All right, so let's jump on. So what did we discuss in our last class? 3 T's, no? Okay. Ready for shootout round? By the way, anyone new today? One person, two. Okay. Okay. So if you feel you missed, we'll get, I see you are also new, sir. Okay. So if you feel like you will get the recordings that you have missed. So I always say, go through those recordings. If at all you got any doubts and questions, I'm ready to take a backup class. Okay, those who are new. Okay, so if you go through my recordings, I think most of the things will get cleared off. Okay, all right. And by the way, we haven't entered deeper into the AWS yet, and probably from today, I'm sure that we'll be entering into it. All right. So, what are those 3 T's? Elasticity, scalability, and high availability. Super. What is elasticity? Increasing and decreasing the number of servers based on the load. Simple. Increasing and decreasing the number of servers based on the load. So this elasticity is short term or long term? Short term. And this elasticity, how do you achieve this elasticity in AWS? Using auto scaling. Fantastic. What is auto scaling? Scale out and then scale in. Scale out and then scale in. So what is scale out meaning? Increasing the number of servers. Scale in meaning decreasing the number of servers. So based on the demand, it will scale out. Based on there is no demand, it will scale in. It will remove it. And this elasticity is also called as what scaling? Horizontal scaling. Okay. And what is scalability? Increasing the capacity of the server is called the scalability. So in other words, what is scalability? Scalability is equal to, what is that? Scale up and scale down. Whenever you have a requirement, scale up. Scale up meaning what? Increasing the capacity of the server, maybe from some GB to some other GB. And whenever there is no need, scale down again. Scale up and scale down. And this scalability is for long term or short term? Why did we say long term? Because let's say, for example, I took an example of DB server. No. So everyone started complaining saying that, hey, DB server is slow. When they started complaining like this, you are increasing the capacity of the server from some 16 GB to 32 GB. Will you go back again to 16 GB? No. You will keep it for longer term, because if you going down again, people start screaming on you, correct? So it is long term. And this scalability is also called as vertical scaling. So sometimes in interviewers, in certifications, they'll ask these questions like, about vertical scaling, horizontal scaling and all. And then we discuss about high availability. What is high availability? The period of time the service is available to the customer is called high availability. Fantastic. Service is available. If the service is not available, that is called downtime. Okay. Is it recommended to access your application using the IP address? No. You need to have a nice fancy name. Will you expose your application servers to the internet? No. What do you need to have in between? Load balancer. What is load balancer? Which distribute the traffic to the multiple servers. Super. Okay. If you want to achieve high availability, what are those three sutras? Three RMF. Redundancy, monitoring, and failover. Redundancy, monitoring, and failover. What is redundancy, Chitti? Keeping the same application in different servers is called redundancy. Duplicating. So is it mandatory to have the same application on all the servers in order to achieve availability? Yes. And who is doing monitoring here? Load balancer is doing monitoring. Load balancer is doing monitoring for the application or for the server? For the application. How does the load balancer is doing the monitoring? Using health checks. Health checks. And what is the success status code that you get? 200. So if it is getting success status code as 200, it is healthy. If it is not getting 200, it is unhealthy. So does the load balancer will send the request to unhealthy servers? No, it will send it to healthy servers. So if the first server is not working, the request will be sending to the second server. What is that called? Failover. Failover. So load balancer will send the request to the servers in what method? A round robin method. And suppose you have only 3 servers. So you have let's say all 3 servers are down. Definitely there will an impact. So if you don't want any time, the downtime, what do you want to implement on top of it? Auto scaling. If you are achieving 0 downtime, what is that called? Fault tolerance. What, Macha? You guys are superb. You're answering all these questions. If you're answering like this in interviews, correct? Experienced people, yes or no? Exactly, right? So very good. Very good. Proud of you guys. Superb. This is what I always say. Please concentrate only 1.5 hours with me. So nice. So today, oh, I need to download that diagram. Should be in downloads. Okay. So this is our Naresh at EPC. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Guys, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Super. All right. So, as I said today, let's start AWS topics. In order to go to the AWS concepts, again in AWS, you need to learn the terminologies. Correct? Without terminologies, you cannot go and learn all these things. Okay, let us start the basics on those. So the first topic that we're going to talk about here is regions and availability zones. What is that, Chitty? Regions and availability zones. Regions and availability zones. Okay. And we know this line. Do you all agree with this? AWS has global infrastructure. Okay. I'll write those things. AWS has global infrastructure. AWS has global infrastructure. AWS has global infrastructure. Okay. Where is this infrastructure? In India. Mumbai, right? So can I say, I especially use a word. What is that Mumbai called? Region. What is that called? Region. The region that I'm talking about here is that only. So can we call region is a geographical area? It's a place. It's a place where AWS has its own data center. Correct, Chitty? So I'll say that here, AWS has a global center, here, region. So region meaning it's a geographical area. So what is an example? AWS region, Mumbai. We have Mumbai, and not only Mumbai, you have so many. How many are there approximately? 23 to 25, depends. Okay. You understood what is a region? So region meaning it's a geographical area, or in other words, I'll say that region is a place where AWS has its infrastructure. Can we say this? If someone asks you what is a region, you can easily say region is a geographical area. That's fine. But if you want to little bit more explain, if you want to explain a little bit more, what do you need to do? You need to say that a region is a place where AWS has its infrastructure. What does the Mumbai contain? Data center. Yes or no? Mumbai contain data center. Chitty, tell me. Yesterday we have learned about high availability concepts. Based on that, can you tell me Mumbai has only one data center? No, no. So a region, instead of Mumbai, and can I call it as region? So a region will have only one data center or multiple data centers. Why multiple? See, now you're implementing the topics. Why multiple? Because if one data center goes down, you have another data center. But do you need to really worry about those data centers in the backend? No, you don't need to worry about it. Correct? So a region has a multiple data centers. A region has multiple data centers. So now you know what is region. Simple. What is the region, Titi? It's a geographical area, or in other words, what do we say? It's a no. So AWS region is a place where AWS has its own infrastructure or a data center. Now let's talk about availability zone. What is availability zone? What is availability zone? Guys, availability zone is simply a data center. We know that region is a place where AWS has its data centers. The data centers is nothing but availability zone. From now onwards, we should not call it as data center. We should be calling it as availability zone. We should be calling it as availability zone. Now we know that a region contains multiple data centers. Can you rephrase that sentence now? A region contains multiple availability zones. So we should not call it as data centers anymore. Data centers is equal to availability zone. In shortcut, you call it as AZ. AZ meaning availability zone. So a region has multiple availability zones. Getting it, Chiti? Getting it? So what are the servers called here? What are the servers called? Instances. What instances? EC2 instances. Now tell me, where do you place these EC2 instances? In? Where? In availability zones, correct, Chiti? So where do you place this? Where do you place these instances, that meaning servers? In availability zones. Availability zones is nothing but data centers only. No, should we call it as data centers anymore? No, we should not call it as data centers. We should be calling it as availability zones. So eventually when you go and create servers, or eventually when you go and create EC2 instances, where do you place these EC2 instances? In availability zones. Getting it? In availability zones. I'll write it here. Instances are placed in availability zones. Getting it, Chiti? Getting it slowly, smooth as butter. Nice. Good. So non-IT, NCC. Nice. Okay. Now, guys, we have a region called Mumbai. Like this, we have 24 to 25 regions from AWS, correct? So for each and every region, there will be a code. Do we need to learn all about 24 regions code? As we are in India, which region that we are more concerned on? Mumbai and Hyderabad also. Let's take Mumbai. When remember, I'll tell this also. See, which is the most favorite region for AWS? Huh? For AWS, North Virginia. Which one? North Virginia. So who knows? Jeff Bai has someone in North Virginia. Maybe that is a favorite place. Huh? So remember, not Singapore, not Mumbai. So why I said this, AWS default region. Which is the AWS default region? North Virginia. North Virginia. Because whenever AWS want to implement any new service, which is the region that he will go and implement that? In North Virginia only. And slowly that new services will get implemented in all other regions. So whenever you get a new region like Hyderabad, do you have all the services implemented already in there? No, slowly they will implement. For that is the reason I'll be choosing Mumbai only, not Hyderabad. But any difference? No difference. Okay. So here, what is the, so we have Mumbai. So we need to at least know the code of Mumbai. The code of Mumbai is AP minus South minus 1. Write down. What is that? AP minus South minus 1. That is the region code. That is the region code. AP minus South minus 1. What does the region contains? Availability zones. Where do you place all your servers? In availability zones itself. So what is Mumbai's region code? AP minus South minus 1. Here AP meaning not Andhra Pradesh. Asia Pacific. What is that? AP meaning Asia Pacific, not Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So today in Mumbai, do you all agree that it has multiple availability zones? So remember, in Mumbai, we have 3 availability zones. How many availability zones are there? 3 availability zones. And we call availability zones, we call it as like this. We have 3 availability zones. We call them as AP minus South minus 1A, 1B, one C. So as we'll be using Mumbai region, so we need to know how many availability zones are there in Mumbai. How many availability zones? 3. What are those? AP minus South minus 1A, 1B, and 1C. In shortcut, you can call it as 1A, 1B, 1C. Got it? Yes, you will get it. Ali, Shakir Bhai, yes. Okay. Chiti, these regions and availability zones are completely managed by certification question. Regions and availability zones are completely managed by AWS. Okay, nice. Now let me give a graphical representation. So assume that this is AWS region. Yes, Ramya. This is AWS region, which is Mumbai. So I call it as Mumbai. So this is, for example, I took AWS region as Mumbai. In this Mumbai, how many availability zones are there? 3 availability zones are there. So 1, 2, and then 3. Please don't think that I'm doing some Virupaksha diagrams. Okay. Looks scary, huh? Okay. So this is, we call it as 1A, Chiti, this one, 1B, and then 1C. Okay. These are availability zone inside the region. Remember, availability zones will be inside the region or outside the region? Worst question, correct? So region has availability zones. Remember, availability zone doesn't have regions. So which is the outer layer? Outer layer is region. Inside that we have availability. How many are there? 3 availability zones. So indirectly, these 3 availability zones are 3 different data centers. Correct, Chiti? Okay. Now, as it is, now we call it as Mumbai as a region. And we'll place our instances in availability zones. Now tell me, I have a question for you. I have asked you to launch 10 EC2 instances. Will you go and launch all these 10 EC2 instances in 1A and 1B and 1C, all in 1A? Why? Is it recommended to keep all these 10 servers in one availability zone? So what you need to do? You need to spread or distribute. Yes or no? So maybe few machines, few EC2 instances, you launch it here. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe here few. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, maybe here like this. Can you go and launch this? So will you distribute the EC2 instances across availability zones? See, what is the wording that I'm using? You are distributing the EC2 instances across availability zones. Okay, now you're putting few EC2 instances in 1A, few EC2 instances in 1B, few EC2 instances in 1C. Tell me, Chiti, this EC2 instances will talk to this guy? All are interconnected with each other? Yes. Fantastic. So do you all agree? Do you all agree that availability zones are interconnected with each other? Super. So these availability zones are interconnected with each other by default. So if you create one instance in 1A and if you launch another EC2 instance in 1B, can they both talk to each other? Yes. because they are in the same region and different availability zones. They can talk to each other, no? Yes, they can talk to each other. So can I say this is also a certification question? Availability zones can communicate with each other by default. So availability zones network are interconnected with each other. Agree? Do you have any issues, guys? If I keep, okay, now you said I gave a requirement of 10 machines. Will you keep all these 10 machines in one A? But is it possible to put it? Yes, it is possible to put it, but it's always good to separate them. You need to have a question like, what, sir, what if all of a sudden 1A goes down completely? All your customers, whoever, all your 10 EC2 instances which you put it in 1A, everything is gone. So is it good to keep everything in one availability zone? No, spread it. Spread it. So I'll write here. I'll write it here. Best practice is to spread or distribute the EC2 instances across availability zones. Someone is asking what is EC2? What is EC2? Elastic Compute Guide. And can we say that these are all virtual machines only? Yes, Suresh, that is virtual machines. Okay, Chitti, now I just used a word called what if 1A goes down? Okay, 1A is managed by, if something is managed by AWS, will it go down just like that? No. So AWS region Mumbai has availability zones. These availability zones and regions will just like that will go down? No. Very, 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 very rare cases that availability goes down. And I'll tell you the logic, but I'll write it here. Very, very less chance. Very, very less chance that one availability zone goes down. I'll tell you the reason why. If one goes down means the other goes down. Meghana, tell me guys, if one goes down, other will go down automatically? No. No. Okay, now I'll tell you which region that we are using it, Chitti? Mumbai. Anyone from Mumbai here? No. Okay, do you know the places in Mumbai? Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Can you please confirm? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you guys for waiting. And there was a power cut here. And I saw a few messages that about the group and all. Do not worry about the WhatsApp groups. Everything that will be I'll take care of it. So when time comes, once the batch is fixed, we'll talk about those things. Okay. Don't create any groups now. So as this is a desktop, so we have lost the paint. Don't create groups. Okay. Guys, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? So I lost those things. Right. 1 second. Thank you for the patience. So let me set it up. Okay. Guys, okay, fine. So everything is perfect. So unfortunately, we lost thing, but that's fine. So you all guys remember the topic? Yes? Okay, very good chance for you again. What is a region? It's a geographical area. Example? So AWS region is Mumbai. And what does the region contains? Availability zones. What is an availability zone? Simply a data center. Simply a data center. Very good. And what is the Mumbai region code? So Mumbai code is AP minus South minus 1. And how many availability zones are there? What are those? AP minus South minus 1A. AP minus South minus 1B. And then 1C. All right. Meanwhile, do you have any questions? Guys, don't worry about the numbers and all. So please don't give any numbers there yet. So do you all agree AWS has global infrastructure? Yes. Now if power goes off also, no issues. AWS has global infrastructure. Nice. AWS is global infrastructure. And what is a region? What did I wrote? A region is a place where AWS has its own infrastructure. Very good. And then what did I wrote? So a region has how many data centers? Multiple data centers. A region has multiple data centers. So what is this data centers called? availability zones. Can I reframe this as a region has multiple availability zones? Fantastic. Next. Next. So what are the servers called here? Instances. You got super revision. Okay. So regions and availability zones are completely managed by regions and availability zones are completely managed by AWS. Very good. Next, what did I say? Availability zones can communicate with each other. Availability zones can communicate with each other by default. So that meaning the network are interconnected with each other. Yes or no? Availability zones, networks are interconnected with each other. Okay. What else I wrote? So here I took the whole big region. So a region so this is AWS region. Mumbai. So how many availability zones are there in Mumbai? 3. 1, 2, and then 3. So what are those called? 1A, 1B, and then 1C. All these are interconnected with each other. Super. All these are interconnected with each other. So do you recommend to launch all EC2 instances in one availability zone? No. So what you do? You distribute the EC2 instances across availability zones. You need to distribute the EC2 instance across availability zones. Nice. So best practice is what? Best practice is, by the way, instances are placed in edges. Instances are placed in availability zones. We know that. And what is the best practice? Best practice is to distribute the EC2 instances across availability zones. Thank God. This is what we have discussed, correct? Wasn't it? I was quick. Okay, good. Chiti, is there any chance that 1A availability zone will go down? No, I said very, very less chance that one availability zone goes down. Why? 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 Okay. So this is what I got stopped. Unfortunately, power went off. So now I don't think so power will go because let's see. Can you please tell me few names in Mumbai, few places in Mumbai? Dadar, Andheri, Bandra. What else? Here they're putting Thane, Kurla, Kalyan. And then Nampalya. Juhu, Texas. Okay, good. What else here? Aroli, Washi. Okay, enough. We got this. Okay, these are the places from Mumbai. Okay, why? What is the question here? Why 1A availability zone will never go down? What is the reason? Guys, for us, it is only one availability zone. For us, it is one availability zone. That meaning we thought availability zone meaning what? Data center. So for us, availability zone meaning one data center. But actually, the behind scene is like this. So AWS will keep one data center in Dadar another data center in Andheri, another data center in Bandra, and he call it as 1A availability zone. You understand? He'll keep one data center in Thane, Kurla, and Kalyan, example, and all these things he call it as 1B. And same as the last one. Now tell me, you have group of data centers in nothing but availability zone here? Yes or no? Guys, there is one data center placed in Dadar, another data center in Andheri, another data center in Bandra, and all these data centers, he call it as 1A. Now tell me, 1A will go down? That meaning all the data centers in Dadar, Andheri, Bandra, all these data centers will go down at the same time? No. So in that case, 1A availability zone will go down anytime? No, there is very, very less, and this is the reason we had it. You understood now? So 1A availability zone will go down? No, indirectly one availability zone is nothing but a group of data centers. One availability zone is a group of data centers. Chitty, now tell me, I have one EC2 instance in 1A. Okay, Manoj. I have one EC2 instance in 1A. I have another EC2 instance in 1B. Can you tell me 1A data can be shared to 1B? 1A EC2 instance data can be shared to 1B EC2 instance? Yes. Why? Because they are interconnected with each other. So instances across availability zone can share the data? Yes. Instances across availability zones can share the data as availability zones are interconnected with each other. Agree, Chitty? Super. So can we say that 1A or 1B or 1C is equal to group of data centers? Group of data centers? Is there any chance that it will go down? No. Getting it? Is this clear till here, guys, everyone? Which one? Clear? Huh? If you're not clear, please ask me. One available ones have multiple data centers? Yes, that's what I said. 1A is nothing but multiple availability, multiple data centers. Guys, see, AWS is telling that 1A availability zone. Do we need to really worry about 1A will go down? No, because that is completely managed by AWS. But I'm going little bit more extra advanced and saying that Babu, 1A will never go down because it's a group of data centers in the backend. That's the reason why it will never go down. So do you need to worry about, sir, why they keep the data center in Dadar? Why they keep the data center in Andheri? Do we need to worry about it? No. Super. And now, guys, question for you. If you have customers in India, which region do you choose to set up your servers? Okay. If your customers are in Australia, which region that you set up? Sydney. Correct? Yes or no? If your customers are in India, you will select Mumbai because that is the nearest region. Okay, now your customers are in India. Will you set up your infrastructure in US? All your customers in India will be connected to the US servers. What if you do like that, what will happen? What is that? Latency issue, you'll get it. So now here I want to use the word called latency. What is latency? There are two types of latency cities. What is this? Low latency and high latency. What is that? Low latency and high latency. Which one is good? Which one is bad? Low latency is good and high latency is bad. What's the meaning of latency here, Chitty? Latency meaning you open the browser and you type google.com. Within how many milliseconds you need to get your page? within very milliseconds, you need to get the page. If it is taking 4 seconds, 5 seconds to load, that is low latency or high latency? High latency. The response time is more or less? More. If the response time is more, that is bad. That meaning high latency. If the response time is very quick, that is low latency. Salmaya? So there is a question Shakir is asking. If the customer is globally, yes, very good question. If our customers in India, we choose Mumbai. If your customers in US, you choose North Virginia. If your customers are in Australia, you choose Sydney. But what if your customer is global? Everywhere you have customers. We have a topics coming in. There is a separate service from AWS that I don't want to introduce it now. I'll keep it suspense. We'll go there later. Okay. So if you are more excited or if you are a sugar patient, so I say that it is a CloudFront, but don't get that into your brains yet. Okay. We'll talk about that. Okay. So Chitty. Now this is one region. Can I have, I'll talk about that, Prashant. See, Chitty. Can I take one more region here? Do we need to talk about only Mumbai? No. Can you tell me another region? Another region? Complete different country. Can I take it Ireland? Yes. So Ireland will also have the availability zones inside it? Yes. How many availability zones? Do we need to worry? No, but minimum 3 will be there, right? Or 2 will be there. So I'll keep it as 4, right? I have 4 availability zones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all these 4 availability zones are interconnected with each other? Yes. This availability zone, can I call it as 1A? This one 1B? This one? This one? So do you understand how the availability zones are named in AWS? Very good. And now these availability zones are interconnected with each other? Yes. Like this in every region, all you have a availability zones and all availability zones are interconnected with each other. But the question here is, Chitty, I have one EC2 instance in Mumbai. I have another EC2 instance in Ireland. Can you tell me by default, these 2 regions will talk to each other? 2 regions talk to each other? Answer is no. That is an certification question. By default, 2 regions will talk to each other? Answer is no. So the network is interconnected? Answer is no. So by default, no. Answer is no. So guys, this is a certification question. So 2 regions can talk to each other or 2 regions communicate with each other? No. I'll write it here. Regions don't communicate with each other by default. Guys, if required, yes. If required, yes. I don't want to talk to this guy. By default, I don't talk to Aman. Example. By default, I don't talk to Aman for this guy. If required, can I talk? Yes. By default, we don't talk, right? So here also region, 2 regions by default, they don't communicate with each other. But if required, we can set up the connection. But by default, no. Got it, guys? Is this clear, everyone? Nice. Okay, now you got the basic information. Now, I'll show you. Do you remember yesterday I showed you a few diagrams? Should I show you those diagrams again? And now you know what is a region, what is an availability zone, you know, right? You know all these things. Now, can you find out those architectures are highly available or not? Okay, let's do that. Okay. Sir, how many available zones will be in one region? Any particular number? Aishwarya is asking that question. How many availability zones will be there in one region? More than 2. So do we need to really worry about to remember the count? No. North Virginia has 6. Ireland has 4. Mumbai has 3. Hyderabad might be 2. It's purely depend upon the, because it is up to him, AWS, he want to set up his own data center. Okay, guys. Now, okay, see here. Can you see this diagram? And okay, now I put in full screen. The top one and bottom one. See here, the outer layer, the black line is AWS. The dotted line is availability zone. And this one is EC2 instance. Now tell me which one is highly available, the top or bottom? Within 1 second, you are answered. Huh? Tell me. Answer is correct. The bottom one. Why? Okay, let's forget about the bottom. On the top one, which one? Why it is not highly available? Because where is failing? Where it is failing? Redundancy. Do we have redundancy there? No, the first itself is failing. No, redundancy. There are no multiple servers. Got it? Chiti, Salmaya. How many servers are there on top? Only one server is there. So in order to have a redundancy concept, we need to have multiple servers. The redundancy itself is failed there. Is it highly available? No. And how about the bottom one? Do you see this Bahubali 3 arrows? What is that called? Load balancer. And then how many availability zones are there in the bottom one? How many availability zones are there? 2 only, no? The dotted line circle is availability zone. How many are there? 2. This one is one availability zone. The bottom one is another availability zone. How many EC2 instances are there? Okay. Okay, got it, got it. Okay, can you hear me? Thank you for your patience and apologies for this break. Uh, and we'll try to fix this. Usually I used to connect from my laptop, but I'm connecting from the desktop. It doesn't have any UPS. We'll try to fix it from the next time. So sorry for this. And let me quickly share my screen. Okay. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen? Okay. I was. Okay. So which one is the bottom one is highly available, correct? So you see that the load balancer there, and how many availability zones are there in the bottom one? 2 availability zones. So this load balancer is sending the traffic to multiple availability zones, correct? You have a load balancer and the load balancer is sending the traffic to multiple availability zones. So how many EC2 instances are there in one availability zone? 2. In another availability zone? 2. So is it recommended to keep all 2 EC2 instances in one availability zone and 2 EC2 instances in another availability zone, and the load balancer will be sending the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across availability zone? The job of the load balancer is that only. You understand? You understand the integration? What is load? See, now tell me, the load balancer is specific to availability zone? No. Chidi, load balancer is specific to any availability zone? No. So load balancer, can we put it in one availability zone? No. So you create the load balancer in regional level and you have the EC2 instances across availability zones. And load balancer has a power to send the traffic across availability zones? Yes, because 2 availability zones interconnect with each other. And that's the reason if you put few instances in 1A and few instances in 1B and few instances in 1C, load balancer can send the traffic to all availability zones? Yes, that is how we should design it. And that is why it is highly available. You understood? Okay. Now, and before I go this diagram, so I need to introduce you one thing. So quickly, I need few names. Give me quickly few names. Sachin, Sarita, Ajay, Karthik. Okay, we have 4 people today. Okay, now these 4 people, they wanted to, okay, so this is AWS. This is AWS. Okay, Chite, this is AWS. This AWS is public cloud or private cloud? Tell me that. AWS is a public cloud. We know this. Guys, and this Sachin, Sarita, Ajay, and Karthik, these people like this, these are all customers. What they want to do is they want to set up the servers in AWS. They want to set up the servers in AWS. So what they did was they went and launched their EC2 instances here. I'll take your questions. Hold on. Let me finish this. Okay. And Sarita went and launched their machines, and it is here. Same way, Ajay also went and launched the machines. And Karthik also went and launched their machines. Chiti, now tell me, all these are all machines. Is it good if they both talk to each other like this? Those are different customers, correct? These are different customers. Is it good they talk to each other like this? No. So generally, AWS is public cloud. Whatever you put it inside the public, that will become public or private? Public only, no. AWS is a public cloud, and whatever you put inside that public cloud, everything is public. So is it good to make all these people as public here? No. How do we do? How to make it private? So Sachin want their private machines, right? Sarita wants, she want her own machines, and everyone wants to own machines. I don't want to touch other machines, and they don't want to touch my machines. But AWS is public cloud. So how? So we need to have our own private space. We need to have our own private cloud. Huh? Do we need to have our own private cloud? Yes. So guys, and that is whatever we are talking is physical or virtual. And you need what cloud? Private cloud. And mix it up. Virtual private cloud. That is called VPC. That is called VPC. And everyone over here, they have to set up their own stuff. Everything should be inside the VPC. And if you want to secure it today, and all your infrastructure should be inside the VPC. And all this is virtual only, no? And we need to have private. And what is that? Cloud. And what is this called? VPC. Chiti. First is AWS. Inside the AWS, what we have? Region. First, AWS. After that, region. And inside, we have selected the Mumbai region. Inside the region, we need to have our own private stuff. That meaning inside what do you get? VPC. Inside the VPC, what we have? Availability zones. Chiti, one more time. So the bigger circle, the outer layer is AWS. Inside this, you have region. Inside the region, what you have? VPC. Inside the VPC, you have availability zones. What is VPC? Virtual private cloud. So whatever you set up, everything should be inside the VPC only. You understood what is VPC now? VPC is a very big topic, but I'll talk about it. Okay. So virtual private. Okay. Just now I'll put one more diagram, that hypnotism diagram. So AWS region, and then VPC, availability zones, and then EC2. Okay, what is the outer layer? AWS. Inside it, what we have? Region. Very good. And then your entire thing VPC, and then availability zones, and inside this you have EC2 instances. Now see how it is architected. So if you want to know more about VPC, I'll tell you one simple funny example. VPC meaning it's a private to you, correct? But AWS is public or private? Okay. Can you tell me which is public in our society? Can you tell me, and do you know Sulabh complex? Huh? You know, no. At least you know, right? It's a public toilets. And also when you go to an airport, in airport also you have washrooms? You have washrooms. Okay, good. So consider this is Sulabh complex. I think Jeff will die. This is Sulabh complex or your washroom. So your washroom is public or private? Your washroom is public. Chiti, your washroom is public. But when you go inside the washroom, you have the compartments. You have your own compartments, correct? Yes or no? You have your own compartment, yes or no? And each compartment is called as VPC. Even though your entire everything is public, when you go inside it, it is private to you, correct? It is private to you. So each thing here is VPC. See, VPC. These are all VPC. 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 These are all VPCs. Now tell me. Question for you. I'll ask one certification question. You will answer it just like that. Two VPCs can talk to each other? Oh, boy. No. Strictly no. That is right. Two VPCs cannot communicate with each other. And here also, guys, see, This VPC can talk to this VPC? No. Two VPCs by default cannot communicate. But if you have you both friends went here and here, you have your friend next to that. Will you communicate with each other? Mama, ho gaya kya? Let's go. We'll go. Done. So will you communicate with each other? Yes. If required, yes. So two VPCs can talk to each other if required. Yes. By default, no. So guys, see, you went inside the VPC, which is private. Guys, Sulabh Complex is giving you the lock for that door. If you're not putting that lock, will you become public or private? Will you scream on AWS? Will scream on that Sulabh guy, Sulabh Complex guy outside? No, right? So will you say that, hey, there is a lock? He'll say that, how will I put the lock? Right? Here also same thing in AWS. AWS, he will give you so many security features. You have to implement it. You cannot put everything. Remember shared security model we discussed? Shared responsibility model. So AWS will give you something and we need to implement that here. So all security features will be there and we will be implementing. Like one of the security feature is VPC. Understood now? What is VPC? So now you understood what you have region in AWS. Inside the region, inside that you have a VPC. Now tell me, Chite, now you have this diagram. Now you have this diagram. Tell me, you have top AWS and inside this you have region and some VPC. Tell me, is it highly available? No. Excellent. Why? Where is redundancy? Where is redundancy? There is no redundancy, no. How many servers are there? Only one. With one server, will you be able to get high availability? No. Even though you are in AWS, even though you are in a region, even though you are in a VPC, even though you are in availability zone, if you have only one server, there is no high availability. The architecture is best. Now you're able to understand by seeing the architectures, can you able to make it up which that is highly available or not? Now tell me, how many availability zones are there here? One. Very good. And now this tell me, is it highly available? Yes. How many availability zones? Two are there. And do you see that 4 arrow marks? 4 arrow marks is related to auto scaling. Can you do the auto scaling across availability zones? Can you put few EC2 instances in 1A, few EC2 instances in 1B? And can you do auto scaling, increase, decrease, and can communicate with each other? Yes. Two availability zones communicate with each other. We know that. How many availability zones? 2. And for this, how many availability zones? 3. Highly available or not? It is super high available. What is the difference between the before one and this one? Before one is 2 availability zone and this one is 3 availability zone. Can you set up high availability in 2 availability zones? Yes. Can you set up high availability in 3 availability zones? Yes. Is it recommended to set up high availability in 1 availability zone? But can you do it? Yes, you can do it. But is it recommended? No. Guys, you have not entered into the AWS yet, but you are seeing the architecture of diagrams of AWS and you are saying it is highly available or not. That is the power of basics that we have learned. You understood? Is it clear? Right? Super. And guys, and what we're gonna do, and tomorrow we have a class. Saturday, we have a class. Guys, everyone, we have a class tomorrow. And tomorrow, we are entering into the trailer. All these are all teasers. We are entering into the trailer. So what we're going to do is tomorrow we'll start discussing AWS services. Yes, tomorrow we have class. Don't leave the class until I say final CC. Any questions? Sunday, there is no class, Ansari Bhai, only Saturdays. And guys, yes, we'll do that also, Sachin. Guys, and Monday, Saturday, same timing, same link. And from Monday, the link will change. Yes, Mishra, will do that also. From Monday, the link might change. So please complete all your formalities. Different regions in same country can communicate. 2 regions cannot communicate. That for sure. Whether it is in one country or another country. Guys, notes and all, I'll give it once the batch is fixed. All your PDFs, PPTs are ready. Okay. Sir, will you covering real-time things? Guys, whatever. Okay. Say one city here. Okay. Experienced people, I just wanted to hear from you. Whatever we are discussing here, everything is real time. Yes or no? Can you please back me up here, please? Let's give little bit motivation to others. See here, guys, whatever we are learning, everything is real time only. Do you see the responses from experienced people here? So do not have the mindset that we are talking something else. What is a project? Project is a combination of multiple modules and tasks only, no? That task will be doing it. I don't fool saying that I'll give you a project. Guys, each and every service, we are doing the project only. We'll go to EC2, we'll go and set up applications, load balancers, auto scaling. Can we say that is a project, sir? We can say it, no. But I don't call those as projects. Okay. So project meaning is completely different, but all the modules and tasks will be doing it. Any other questions? Sorry, I took 3 minutes extra due to this power cut, and we'll make sure that not will happen, but it's purely depend upon. Any other questions online? Why is availability zone inside VPC as VPC can't communicate with each other? So good question. So VPC is like this. VPC is like this. Quickly, guys, quick one. See here, do you see this? This is Mumbai region. Shubham and everyone. Inside this Mumbai region, how many availability zones are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now tell me, can I go and launch the EC2 instance one here? One here? One here? Can I launch it? And can I secure it using all this security using VPC? Can I secure it? Your VPC is spanned across availability zones. How many VPCs you can create per region? Answer is 5. How many? That's why I don't want to jump the topics. How many regions you can create per region? How many? 5. How many? 5. So can I launch instances like this? One more EC2 instances like this. And can I group them using the VPC? It's a network. VPC is nothing but network like this. Your VPC is spanned across availability zones. So in this batch, I'll say that I'll group them. That is my separate network. We are in the single room. And I can group like this. How many VPCs I can create per region? 5 like this. And 2 VPCs can talk to each other by default? No. So guys, VPC is a big topic. I cannot completely explain you VPC in few minutes. We have a separate class for the VPC itself in the networking. So we'll talk there separately. Any other questions? Can I access data centers outside of India also? Yes, you can. First slide is gone. Don't worry, you will get, I'll show you next time. So guys, can you give me the final CC for today? CC with smile. And please don't miss the class on Monday. On Saturday, we have a class tomorrow. And tomorrow, same time, same link, and we'll be entering into the AWS services. If you start missing the class, problem. Yes, we'll be doing that, Sumit. Yes. That is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the new topics. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and good night. Thank you.